Hello, and welcome to Seeking Ishvara. And this is one of my lesson learns of my journey so far that I've been reflecting on over the past week. It is the Scorpio full moon today, and full moons, I feel like, bring out a lot of emotions in us. We're over 90% water, and so with the moon affecting the tides and doing all the stuff it does, like we are all as a human race affected by it. And this was recorded today, so on that day. But this astrological time is also about not letting our past impact us as we go forward into the future, and really coming back into presence, back into the now, where you're coming back mentally where your physical body is. And it's been something that I've been practicing for a long time, and coming back into presence, consciousness, presence is a relatively newer thing to me, considering I feel like this holistic health journey that I'm on back in 2020. And I mean, I wouldn't say 6 years is a lot of time in the grand scheme of things. And one thing that I've been noticing recently is that when I'm taken out of the present moment and into the past, or I'm reacting from a life event, I'm being taken in by the mind, the mental voice that takes you into the past, into the future. I'm supposed to learn something from that. I'm supposed to learn whatever life lesson that I need to close out still. And so in the things that have triggered me this week, I've taken the time, I've contemplated, where is this coming from? And a lot of it now, I feel like, is small universal tests to see if I've truly learned the things that I've been working on over the past couple of years. And so I encourage you that when, this week, this time, when you get triggered, when you get taken back into the past or just taken over by the mind, just notice that. Because the noticing is always important, especially if you're beginning the journey of coming back in control of your mind and not letting your mind control you, is to notice and pay attention to when you go out of right here, right now. And for me, so you can either know that, oh, this thing happened to me, somebody pissed me off or whatever it is, and then notice that and be like, I'm unregulated. And do I want my power to be going back into that past moment? And do I want my current state to be unregulated, nervous system wise unregulated, mentally unregulated, and in dysfunction? And you can either recognize that depending on where you're at in your journey and say, oh, this is what's happening, I'm being taken over by my mind right now, and then let it go. Or if you're newer to the journey and you're still struggling with your mind quite a bit, noticing, and then find out where that came from. Where is that reaction coming from? And you can have, I've talked about patterns, but you can have good and you can have bad patterns, mental patterns, physical patterns, daily routines, but also mental ones. And so just do a little investigative work of, if you are reacting and you're still in the noticing stage, and be like, where did this come from? where did this come from in my past? And if it's, for example, like trust, if you have a trust issue and then something, say, happens with your spouse or your partner, and then you're like, oh, like, I don't know if I trust them to be honest with me or something like that. And then you go into like this whole dysregulated state of where you're taken over by your mind. And then you stop and you notice, oh, that's happening. And then you do that self-discovery of where did this come from? Maybe it had something to do with the way that men treated you, your father treated you when you were 5 years old, 10 years old. These mental patterns that we have are from somewhere in the past. And I know that's a little bit contradictory to like saying coming back into the present. But for me, like, it was a gradual staged process. It wasn't like I instantly stepped into full consciousness. And if you did and you can, great. Try the letting go thing first. I highly encourage that, but that was not the case for me. And granted, I didn't seek out an in-person mentor, or, I was learning through all the people that were around me in life, but nobody was specifically taking me down and saying, hey, this is what you should do, and this is what's happening. I was reading books. So, but find out if you're on that, that other side where you're struggling with your mind. Think about where that comes from, those patterns, and ask yourself, ask your mind, do I want to let this affect me in this way and take me into a dysfunctional, dysregulated state, unregulated state because of what happened to me 30 plus years ago, or whatever age, however long ago. And then you get to decide. That is then the consciousness coming in and saying, it's you coming in and saying yes or no. Yes, I want this to continue, this pattern to continue, or no, I don't want it to. And then you change your emotional reaction and try and let go of it. And then the universe is going to bring you some sort of similar situation, and it's going to make sure that your answer is still, yes, I want to change. But recognize that pattern too. Recognize that you are being challenged by the universe. The universe is making sure, because the universe speaks in vibration. But that's all I have for today. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. And good luck on your journey.